Here with the first signing for the 2024-2025 season, forward Lincoln Griffin is back for year 4 in the Cyclones uniform. Griff, great to see you, man. Welcome back to Cincinnati. How's the summer been back home in Mass?
Well, first, it's good to see you, Dana. It's hot. It is hot. I'm just trying to spend as much time with family as I can. I'm busy Monday through Thursday working camps and on the ice. So the weekends, I'm trying to hang out with family as much as I can.
Those are like youth camps around
Yep.
around Boston. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Back at high schools, or is it something through Northeastern or
So it's at actually the best high school in Mass, your
ooh,
Academy.
your home of Charlie Coyle? Yeah.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, that's great, man. So does that mean, are you kind of are you doing ice training yet yourself? Is the summer more for you kind of weight training, cardio stuff, or do you try and get on the ice a fair amount from a training perspective?
So right now I have a 3-on-3 league Mondays, and then I have a men's league on Tuesdays, and then I skate with one other guy on Fridays, but it's nothing too crazy just yet.
Yeah.
It'll start to ramp up August and then further.
Is it a different off season in the sense in just how your year ended? I know you had an injury in February and then you worked your tail off to kind of get back and then, caught something there in the last couple of weeks too. Did that linger into the off season or I guess in short, how you feeling?
I feel great.
Sweet.
It is tough recovering from an injury, but PT and Cincy and PT back home did a good job of strengthening and getting me to where I need to be. Right now, it's building the muscle and being comfortable doing all the things on the ice that I would be doing in a game. So I feel great. No holding back, and all is well.
Is there some motivation from you in the sense in hopes of, not that you didn't have great point production last year, contributed power play PK, but, just to, you're also in Europe too to start the year. It's a little bit of a hectic year, I would assume, for you. Is there some hope to have kind of a smoother season, I guess, kind of in a few different areas?
Yeah, it was hectic for sure. Looking back last year, I was getting ready to leave. I left the end of July to go over there and
Yeah, because
training.
they
So
start early, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of crazy to think we're in July right now, and I would be going over soon. But um, yeah, it's that's the game we play. There's going to be ups and downs, injuries, and I guess it's just how you know get over those injuries and then how you respond and come back. So yeah, I am very excited for this season. Since he's a second home to me, and it wasn't a tough decision.
You'll be happy to know there's 2 new places that have opened on the banks actually over the past month. So, uh,
uh, oh, don't worry, Viber already texted me that.
I'm glad to hear priorities are in check. Uh, Tell me a little bit about the decision to come back. Fourth season. I guess it'll be your third, full-ish year with the club. Jason really well. A few of the guys really well. Just said since he's a second home, was it a pretty easy decision to come on back?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. And seeing my good buddy Berzola win the cup down in Florida, it looked awesome. So I'm hoping that we can do that for Cincy. I think that would be an incredible thing for the city, for the guys and the fans. And yeah, that kind of motivated me to come back and give it another shot.
That kind of ties into, I guess, my next question a little bit. Big news for the Cyclones this year is obviously starting up an affiliation with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I know you're a Boston guy, but I think all Bostonians can even admit it's tough to beat Toronto as a hockey market and history in the NHL. It's a little bit different up there. And if you look at what they've done with Newfoundland over the last few years, they really trust the ECHL to really produce their young prospects. Tell me about hearing that news, knowing that you're going to be in the Maple Leafs organization, and what you can kind of assume that it changes for this upcoming season as far as a roster.
Yeah, I was pumped. Newfie's had so much success up there. And I think Toronto and the NHL and the AHL do a great job
Yeah.
of, sending people down and kind of developing them there. I think they must have had the most AHL contracts in the coast, I would assume. So that brings another level to your team down here in the coast. So I think this year could be a very special year, and I hope all the guys gel together and we just get this thing rolling. But I
Was there a point? Oh yeah,
also as a Bostonian, I'm just hoping there's no game sevens anywhere up there versus Boston, because I think who I'll be rooting for.
yeah. I guess if it's Maine Cincinnati in round one, we'll see how that goes. But as we kind of look towards the next season, as you said, I mean, it's July. You're going to be playing games in 2.5 months or so. When we look at the way that the roster was constructed last season, and I think everyone would admit, just a weird year. Injuries, guys going off to Europe, injuries up top with the Rangers and the Wolfpack. But there had to have been a point where you're looking around and thinking you're one of the veterans on this team, which not trying to age you here. I think you're probably a pretty young guy in your career. But is that sort of a role that as you kind of step into year 4 with the Cyclones, and especially knowing that maybe there's some pretty good prospects coming down from the Toronto organization, that maybe leadership in a locker room, comes up a little bit on your priority list?
Yeah, for sure. And me and Painter had this discussion at the end of the year that I would take that next step and be a leader in the locker room with the younger guys. And I think for my personality at least, I think the younger guys won't be afraid to ask me a question or take advice from me. Whereas if they're looking up to a scary Justin Vive, they might hesitate a little. So I think I could bring a little of my personality into the room, kind of calm things down a bit. And if the young guys have any questions or want advice, I think I'll be able to give it to them.
You're not just saying that Viver's got like 4 or 5 inches on you height wise and is more
No.
intimidating. It's more a personality thing.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
he's big and scary, but I think inside he's a little teddy bear.
I'd have to agree with you there. We'll wrap it up, but from a play style, standpoint yourself, have you thought about going into this next year? If there's, I don't know, a part of your game that maybe you want to focus on? I remember talking with Jason when you were coming back over from Europe last season in kind of the late stages of the fall, and he was just so excited because you're going to play 5-on-5, good top line minutes. You can play power play, and you're a top 5 shorthanded goal scorer in Cyclones history. So you've got that all around game, but is there a piece of it that you'd like to showcase even a little bit more coming in here to 24-25?
I think I could gain even more confidence with the puck. There are times where pucks aren't going in or they're bobbling over my stick. So I think it's consistency, and I think you could see over the 3 years I go through certain runs where I'm scoring every other game or whatnot, and then I go into this little slump of week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, and things aren't just going my way. So if I could work on consistency, and I think that comes from confidence with the puck. I think that what I'll be working on this summer for sure.
Lastly, how stoked are you to get back to the Cincy fans? I mean, we had a couple of crowds of over 14K last year. That's not a standard for this league. How fired up are you to be back in front of the Cincy faithful?
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's awesome. Whether we win or it's the goal horn or it's warm ups, they bring the energy, and it's just incredible.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for taking the time, Griff. Hope it's a good rest of the summer. Maybe get out to Fenway if you can, once or twice,
Yep.
and
Couple Fenway
we'll
Franks.
why not? Why not? We'll see you at the end of September for camp. It'll be fun.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bearsy.